Mr. Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas.
Mr. Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas. Mr. Derek Thomas.
Good progress is being made to find the right care and cure for people who have brain tumours. But could I ask my friend the PM if she will meet with the Prime Minister, if she will meet with me and others to discuss how we can improve the life chances of children and young people who survive the brain tumour itself but are left with brain injuries. I'm grateful to the Secretary of State and to the Minister certainly for the Minister, repeated visits to Newlyn. The quality of fish caught around the Cornish coast is significant and is in demand by Europe, so I have no concern that we will get to a point where they'll continue to want and buy Cornish fish. Now, there's no fisherman that believes that we won't allow foreign fishermen to come into UK waters, but they believe that we should be the ones who decide when they do, where they do, what they catch and where they land it. St Ives constituency had the leakiest homes in England, potentially the leakiest in Europe. And so I'd really call on the Minister and Government to really look at this across department to see what we can do to deliver a much more sustainable health and social care service, partly by improving the homes we live in. So we were promised control of our own laws. What we'd like to know is when. When will the United Kingdom become a sovereign, independent state where we will be making our own rules and will not be a rule taker? I have no desire whatsoever to continue or to see further uncertainty. There are businesses in my constituency and right across the UK that really need to know what the future holds for them. So the scrap on the business rate on toilets, which Cornish MPs fought for, has an enormous potential benefit for my local parish and town councils. In my constituency alone, this is worth £120,000. There is a renewed ambition in Cornwall to reduce harmful emissions and increase renewable energy supplies. Cornwall is working together to set up a clear plan on how this can be delivered by 2030. Handouts are not needed, but government policy, government support and government investment is needed to create a thriving and prosperous economy, leaving no one behind in Cornwall. We need to absolutely smash this problem of low wages, and we must invest in people. The businesses tell me that what they really struggle with is to find the skilled workers that they need. What can his department do with the Treasury and the Education Department to make sure that small colleges in particular have the funding they need to provide these skills? What I hear from people is they just don't feel that we're getting a fair share of the money that is available. So what can the Minister do, A, to make sure the funds are available, but also they are evenly distributed across the country? Haymore, Golville, Carvis Bay, Leestown, Cray Sands, Newlyn, Crown Town, Lizard, Porthleven, St Kevin. These are communities that have either lost their post office branch or the branch is at risk of closure. Every week I make time to visit a local school. I am so in awe of my teachers and the teaching staff. They do a fantastic amount of work. And what I've asked over and over again from the department is that they look at how this funding follows the individual child, whatever their needs might be, so that schools really can provide the very best education and the best start for their children. I've been working with stakeholders in Cornwall to deliver the stadium for Cornwall for 10 years now, and this stadium isn't just about sport, although we should celebrate Cornish sport, but also about health and well-being of children and adults right across the county of Cornwall. I cannot pretend that the Stadium for Cornwall partners are not frustrated and perplexed by the hurdles and hoops that we are having to jump through to secure just 20% of funding. The Transport Minister and other ministers will be aware of how long it takes to get right down to Penzance in my constituency. Too long. The average wage across my constituency is about a third of the rest of the country. Can some fairness be installed so that my constituents pay less for rail travel that they depend on? The A30 that runs down to Penzance is the main route for people to go in and out of Cornwall. It is not a safe stretch of road, and there are countless accidents and incidents that happen and have done for some time. Will the Minister be able to commit to improving this road and dualling it as local people want it to happen? One of the joys, I said, of being an MP is to meet and support charity and voluntary groups. I do this as much as I can. And I just wanted to talk briefly, name-check a few groups that I met just a couple of weeks ago. For example, Helston Bowling Club, the Tea, Love and Cake, TLC, the St Ives Community Bus. I met some young mums who run a breastfeeding support group. Saturday Gang is a group of volunteers that bring together people with learning disabilities on a Saturday. From the National Coast Watch, Age Concern, the guiding and scouting group, the voluntary community, do something that we cannot do, and we should encourage them, support them, and give them the freedom to do a great job and continue to do a great job. I'm so proud to be an MP of West Cornwall and the Old Scilly, where many people find fulfilment in volunteering, supporting each other, and helping some of our most vulnerable people. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.